There's a. Okay, right. Let's do the scenario. I'm at the door. I can see you're in there. You might as well come open the door. Carl, why are you staying so still? Are you trying to avoid me?
It's working.
Carl, your eyes are moving. Can you come to the door, please?
I suppose in the end you've got to move
Carl, no, I'm going to stay here. I'm just going to stay here until you have to move. Carl. This is the most pointless podcast we've ever done. Me shouting your name and you pretending not to be here. Okay, and I'll move on then. Right.
It works.
Yeah,
Works perfectly.
Because once they've got you, that's the whole thing with charity. Once they've stopped you in the street, if you've stopped, that's it.
Keeps on going.
You're handing something over.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of times I've been stopped. I mean, the good thing now is you've got an iPod, so you can just either pretend you're on the phone or listen to music.
Or just stay very still. Just freeze when someone says, "Can I trouble you?" Oh, he's totally frozen.
That would be amazing, because they're normally in one spot, aren't they?
Yeah.
So it's just
So
they're
as soon
carrying
as
on
they
selling,
stop you,
and
so
you've got
you
to
just
stay
freeze
there for
it,
the rest of it outside Waitrose
Yeah.
for 7 hours.
Yeah, it goes dark. Well, I've finished my shift. I'm off, and then you just see your eyes just see them walk away like that, and they all meet in their little tunics, and then you start walking. They look back, and you freeze, and then they walk on, and then you can go home 7 hours late.
Ever since I was young, I've always liked going in charity shops, particularly because, you know, you find sort of interesting old records in there. Never sort of gone in there to buy clothes and stuff, but, you know, books, whatever. And I was in a charity shop, you know, and I've patronised them for years, and I noticed out through the window there was like a paparazzi guy, and he was taking pictures of me through the window. That was a bit weird, and obviously the old ladies in there didn't have any idea who I was, so they just thought that was a bit strange. And then it was in one of the magazines, like the kind of celebrity magazines. Just, oh, here's Steve Merchant. You know, despite all the money he must have made from his various projects, he's still going in charity shops. And you just think, but sorry, how is that a bad thing? I'm giving my money to a charity. Isn't that a noble cause? I mean, obviously that's not the reason I'm doing it. I'm doing it
To save 50p.
to save 50p, of course. But
they don't know
they
that.
don't know that.
No.
They
You won't be
don't know
going there
me.
and going, keep the change, love. You never have said that.
Never said that.
Never said that in your life.
No, occasionally I'll shoplift. I'm no mug. 70p? Don't you think that seems frustrating, though, that...
Yeah, but what do you expect? What are they going to do? They're not going to say Steve Merchant Heart of Gold, are they?
I just thought all these things would slowly accumulate towards the OBE.
Yeah, I know. I think you've got to do a bit more than get Roger Whittaker's greatest hits for 10p.
My mum's always in them, and because my mum goes in them, my dad sort of got into going into them now because, you know, the weather's not good or whatever, and he thinks rather than standing outside, he went in one, and he was after a jacket, just like a sort of a, you know, casual but quite smart.
Yep.
He's quite a big bloke, so it's difficult to find them, right? So he's in there, sees the jacket, goes, oh look, here's that sort of jacket that I'm after. Picks it up, tries it on, right, it fits, it's good this, isn't it? She's going, yeah, while she's looking at, you know, a toad that you put money in or whatever.
Yeah.
So he gets to the counter, and it's got a price tag on it, £8, right? So he said, I'll give you £6. He had £6 in his pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you £6 for that. She went, no, it's £8. Now that's wrong, isn't it? That's a good price, and it's £6. They've got it for nothing.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't have any of it. He said, surely something's better than nothing. If you don't give me this for £6, it's going back on the hanger. And they said, no, sorry.
Yeah, but they might later sell it for £8.
But they might not, and it's been given to them for free.
Yeah,
so what does it matter?
But the old
Who's
lady's
come
not...
up with the price of £8? Who is this?
Yeah.
They don't know how much it's worth.
She's not there to haggle. Someone's priced it up, and she's just a volunteer who's
Maybe she thought of it that she was losing the charity £2 as opposed to gaining it £6.
But they haven't gained anything because he put it back on, and how many people want it? How many people are looking out for that jacket?
It might have been the principle. She might have thought, oh, you can't haggle when it's for charity.
It was a fair price. I give a lot of stuff to charity. A lot. Most of the time just because it's nearer than the wheelie bin is. It's just a way of getting rid of garbage most of the time with me. Stick it all in a bin bag, good stuff on the top, the stuff that you're embarrassed about, stick it in the bottom of the bag.
What are you embarrassed about?
Just old shoes, trainers.
Some of the books you've written.
Socks, underpants.
Underpants! You do not give underpants to charity.
Washed.
But who's gonna wash? I know, as opposed to just like peeling them off.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why you've got a problem with underpants, but shoes. You see, I'd
Who's
never buy
buying
shoes.
underpants from a charity shop, though? I mean, I don't care how low you are on the socio-economic level.
I know.
You can get about 14 pairs for £1 in some places.
I know. I don't know who's buying underpants. I don't know who's buying your underpants. I definitely don't know.
I mean, if they were signed,
yeah.
That is something I like doing though. When I've given to charity, I like going past the shop and seeing if it made it in the window.
any success?
Yeah, recently the one not far from here had me egg cups in the window. So it's like, oh look, there's
What, you've got a new set of egg cups, so you've got rid of your old ones?
Yeah.
I don't think we've got any egg cups.
Haven't you?
No,
Why
I don't
not?
think so. I don't.
You don't have boiled eggs.
I can't imagine you. It would take. You'd be too impatient to boil an egg, Rick.
Well, yeah, I just it's just those things you think of never buying. You know, like egg cups, a whisk.
No, but you do eventually.
I suppose you got to, haven't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's things that were just always there when you grow up, isn't it? That you have to go and you think of, but not second hand though.
But there's nothing wrong. Honestly, it's hardly. I mean, it's made the window space. That's how good it was. It had hardly been used, that egg cup, because it was a doubler, and I think they were quite small for the egg size that I get. I think they were made more for the small egg, and I have the large egg.
Right.
So it was never really
Just
used.
like your underpants.
But
Are you ever been a charity shopper, Rick?
Yeah. What I used to do a lot of was records and tapes and things like that. But it ended up sort of being ironic. It really ended up like getting something like Shane Rich's greatest hits.
Yeah.
And things like that.
a bit of a dilemma that my Auntie Nora had. She likes charity shops as well. She's got a neighbour. Went out to Graceland's, big Elvis fan. They came back. She said, "How was Graceland's?" They said, "Oh, it was brilliant. Best holiday we've ever had. Probably go back again. Back again. We've got a gift for you." Right? They get out this clock, like a little sort of. It's like a Swiss. Do you know the Swiss sort of? Looks like a little
clock.
house, like a cuckoo clock. But on the hour, little Elvis comes out the top and goes, So she went, "Oh, cheers." She's not really into Elvis. She's more into Jim Reeves and Glenn Campbell and stuff.
Yeah.
But what can you say? She said, "Oh, thanks for that." She put it in, took it in the house.
Maybe they could get attachments. Maybe you get a little Jim Reeves to pop on the spring. Change it anything you like So Solid Crew. You can get a little So Solid Crew, and that pops out, or whoever.
So anyway, it's in the house. She's thinking, "I'm not going to put that up. It's not her sort of thing." So thinks, give it to charity.
Of course.
She goes down to the charity shop, gives them that, thinks nothing of it, goes off to the pub for afternoon drink. Anyway, next day she's going out for afternoon drink again. Passes the charity shop. It's in the window.
And the chances are her friends are going to pass by. Of
That was a dilemma.
course.
She had to buy it back.
That's brilliant.
At a hugely inflated price. For those that are American listeners, Comic Relief here is a sort of it happens every other year, and people often do things in their workplace or at school. They can dress up, they can raise money in different fun ways, and we were told in a school assembly, it was Comic Relief next Friday, everyone has to come along dressed up in fancy dress to school on that day.
Has to.
Yeah, they said have to dress up. They said you pay 50p towards Comic Relief, and you have to pay £1 if you don't dress up.
That's annoying, isn't it?
So of course, I'm looking forward to this because I'm a sort of aspiring comedian and that get to dress up like a clown. Right, spent quite a lot of time getting the old clown outfit together.
What did that look like?
The shoes, obviously, I just wore my regular shoes.
Exactly, yeah.
But I had the red nose, a wig,
Wow.
the whole deal, big bow tie that my mum made for me, I thought this is going to be the best day ever, right? Get to school, I want you to picture this scene, right? During the assembly in my class of 30, school uniform, lanky kid dressed as a clown, school uniform. There was 3 people in the entire school who dressed up.
But Steve, you're 50p.
Yes, but then, worse than that, it turns out I was furious because I look like an utter dick, obviously. It turns out that what happened, I don't know whether I missed this information, but apparently the headmaster must have had another assembly where he told people that he wasn't allowed to enforce that rule about making people pay against their will.
Yeah.
So obviously no one showed up dressed like an utter dick except me and about 2 other knobs.
What disappoints me is that for a man who was a self-confessed aspiring comedian, you chose the least funny thing in the world to dress as. Carl, what doesn't annoy you? That's the question, really.
No, I'm not going to sit here and different things annoy me, but I don't just go about getting annoyed. Stuff happens. No. Stuff happens.
What's annoyed you this week?
I mean, I tend to get annoyed when people around me get annoyed. I'm never the one who's going in somewhere getting annoyed. I'm quite happy-go-lucky, me.
You're having a laugh.
I'm not.
That's rubbish. There is nothing about... No one would ever say that.
No one...
How would you describe Karl Pilkington?
Oh, he's happy-go-lucky. Whenever I see him, he's skipping along, whistling a tune.
I whistle a lot, I've told you. I'm
Yeah, only to annoy people when you're playing Scrabble.
No, I just... At the end of the day, I think the problem is, most of the day, I'm on my own.
Right.
Right? I'm doing DIY at home. I'm quite happy. No one's there annoying me.
Right.
I go for my lunch later than everyone else, so I don't have to see people.
He's like Quasimodo, isn't he? It's like coming down when everyone else is not there.
When no one's around.
Yeah.
Suzanne!
No, but then that's the problem. Suzanne then comes home. She's been sort of with people, so she comes in with loads of energy, and I'm going, just slow down. Stop going on. Then she's breaking stuff, and that's probably the last thing.
What do you mean she's breaking?
She's heavy-handed with all the stuff I've been fixing. She broke the shutters. What else did she break?
Well, you could have done a good job.
I did do a good job.
The shutters? Where do you live? In the Old West?
What do you mean the shutters?
Some shutters on a window. She heavy
like
handed
it dark. I don't want them to see me. What a mum.
So what else has she broken?
She's always breaking stuff. The light switch outside. Heavy-handed. She forces things. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It doesn't matter how hard you hit it or how hard you pull it. Just tell me if it doesn't work and I'll sort it. That's what I do these days. I'm like a caretaker to Suzanne's house. I'm wandering around replacing stuff that she's fucked up.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, dear. So she annoys you. She comes home. You've had a lovely day of peace on your own.
So the only person that likes you and talks to you annoys you.
And when you're at home doing your DIY, I want to picture that scene.
Well, okay, right. We've never done this before, right? But let's do a typical day. We've known each other now. How long have we known Carl? Nearly 10 years.
Feels like a long time,
right?
yeah.
So let's do a typical day in the life of Karl Pilkington.
So, for my first question is, what time does Suzanne have to wake up? Does that annoy you? Does she have to get up earlier than you?
Because she's got a proper job.
The alarm goes off.
What time?
About 7.
That seems early.
Yeah, but I'm used to it now.
Okay.
At the
Now, you
moment,
spring out of bed, make her a cup of tea, do you?
No.
Right.
I let her get up, mess about.
By mess about, you mean get ready for work?
Yeah.
Right.
She's not being quiet, so I'm awake now. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean she's not being quiet?
Well, she's just banging about, like I say, heavy-handed. I don't know how she does it. It's just doors and stuff. Everything seems like the Hulk's in the house. Bounding about. Just don't be heavy-handed with it. When even like pulling the curtains shut and stuff, because it's not her who has to fix it. Do you know what I mean? When she's yanking at them and pulling them open, it's like just pull them like that. I've put them on a nice rail. Just pull them slowly like that.
Right.
It's things like that.
This sounds like these jobs aren't done correctly.
That's what
They are done proper.
No, because if you get if you get a bad pair of jeans and someone says, "Oh, you've ripped it," a good pair of jeans, they won't rip, boy.
No, just look after it. It doesn't matter if you've got good jeans or poor jeans. Treat them the same. Look after your stuff. I've always been like that.
I know,
I've told you from a young age I didn't like people sitting on my bed after I'd made it. It was like, I've gone to the trouble, I've made it, there's no creases in it, don't sit on it. There's a chair there, use the chair.
Sure. Okay. That's mental, but yeah.
It's not mental.
It's the behaviour of a
It's
psychopath.
not mental.
Yeah.
So Suzanne's
she's
passionate
got-
about the place.
So the doors, I mean, what's up with the doors? Do they squeak, or is the
No.
catch been done wrongly on
No.
them, or
No,
is it the
hasn't.
wrong
No.
wood or something?
No, just heavy-handed.
No. Right, okay.
So then she has a shower.
right.
If I have a shower, I like to go second because I've got the Mr. Muscle spray that she doesn't do properly.
Right.
do you breakfast together?
Just sit on the bed, have some.
Have you made the bed yet?
Yeah, it's made.
Well, don't sit on the bed if it's made.
No,
mad.
I've
Sit on
calmed
the
down.
chair.
Now. I've calmed down. That's what I've said to her. As I'm getting older,
Yeah.
I'm easing a bit.
Yeah, you're like Doris Day.
So sit on the bed, look
Why
out
are you
the
having
window.
breakfast not sat on the bed? That
Yeah,
makes sense
it
to
doesn't
me.
make sense
Either
to me.
have breakfast in bed,
Just 'cause
classic,
the
or have it
radio-
at the kitchen
The
table.
radio's in there, and it's just kind of.
So you get up, make breakfast, and go back and sit on the bed because the radio's
What's
in
going
there.
on with the crumbs, Rick?
I don't know what the crumbs are doing,
The
but I don't
crumbs
know why
all
they've got two
Crumbs.
radios.
Hang on, you don't know what I'm having. I'm having cornflakes. No crumbs with cornflakes.
No, but
then.
So you're having two of you are sat there. Are you sat on opposite sides of the bed looking at each other, or are you both sat on the sides of the bed
sat-
looking at the wall, listening to the radio, eating a bowl of cornflakes?
Yeah,
well,
Relax.
you sort of cross-legged on the bed, or your legs are down on the
just
floor.
down on the floor.
Right.
Fully clothed now, you've had the showers.
Might have a t-shirt on and my undies.
Okay.
I haven't put my socks on yet. I don't like socks. I'd put them on last.
Why don't you like socks?
They just cut off your freedom.
I don't know how socks can cut off anything.
It's all right if your feet are cold. They're nice to put on, but I don't know. My socks are never that well fitting, so I don't really enjoy
But
wearing
why don't you
them.
get socks that fit
Yeah,
you?
get
Because
the
I
right
never buy
size.
socks, do I?
They
I
should
let
be the
other
same
people-
size as your shoes.
Yeah,
little
I let
rule.
other people buy them for me, and they're never quite right.
But hold on though, this is a rule you've imposed on yourself.
I'm only telling you because you've asked. I didn't come in here moaning about it. I'm just
Socks
saying,
cut off your freedom. Never heard that before.
Okay. Mandela said it.
Well, yeah, never heard socks compared to the Berlin Wall.
Yeah, I think William Wallace said it as well. Right.
Yeah, imagine that in Braveheart. Just takes his socks off and goes,
Yeah.
freedom!
Yeah.
Anyway, then I'll say, right, on your way to work, take the bin bag out.
Right.
She'll do that, and then I get on with whatever I've got to do that day.
Little kiss on the cheek, on the
But
forehead.
why do you say
Pat on the head.
who pats who on the head?
I'll just sort of rub the back of her head. There you go. See you later.
Then what? You're there. You got your pants on. You got your t-shirt on.
Well,
You've
you
had
listen
your
to the
cornflakes.
news. You listen to what's being said on the radio. We'll have a little discussion about it. Sometimes she's in the mood for it. Sometimes she'll go, "Don't worry about it."
Right. What now? What would she say that to then? What would you worry about if you heard on the news?
I heard something about worms getting teeth,
Right.
and she was kind of going, "You know, you're not meant to worry about this news story. There's wars going on, and stuff. You never listen to them."
Do you remember the story of the worms with the teeth? Should we be alarmed ourselves? What was the information?
It was just saying how it was all about nature versus nurture thing,
Right.
and saying how worms that are growing up in a family where there's loads of food around,
What do you mean growing up in a family?
just a family of worms in the soil.
Right.
They're going through the soil. If there's loads of food for everyone, and they don't have to fight for food,
Right.
they're quite happy. They don't have teeth. The ones like the rough of worms, where there's not enough, it's like a massive family that kids left, right, and centre, but they haven't got the nutrients to feed them all. They fight against each other, and the ones they're growing teeth now.
I didn't hear the news story, so I'm going out on a limb here. I don't think it was about a worm being maybe more working class and chavvy though, with like big families. Look at that, their big family can't even feed them all. And then you got middle class worms going, well, we've got enough food for everyone because we haven't overbred.
You know what people are like now? They've got researchers watching all sorts of stuff,
Right.
keeping their eye on everything. When you don't have to worry about it. A worm with teeth, if they've got teeth or not, to me it is not a problem. Not a problem at all. I normally save a worm if I see one
So
in the rain, on a pavement. If I see it there, I go, someone's going to stand on that, and I
Yeah.
chuck it, and I sort of watch it for a bit, see which way it was going, give it an helping hand.
see which way it was going, like it had an aim.
Well,
See
they do.
which,
No, they do though, don't they? They're always going somewhere.
yeah.
He was going to the dentist.
You can't tell. You don't know which end its head's on.
Do you check that it's got teeth first? Because there's some crunchy food or there's some soft food.
Like I said, it doesn't concern me, but I listen to it because it's on the radio.
Okay, so it's 8:05. Suzanne's gone out. You've rubbed the back of her head. She's took the rubbish out. You're there. Pants, t-shirt,
No socks.
no socks yet. What happens to the bowls of ex cornflakes? Where do they go? Have you got?
I wash up.
You wash up. That's the next thing you do, is it? Right. Okay.
Now then, do you plan ahead for the day? Do you think to yourself, Carl, make a list of stuff to do, or do you just let it go?
I let it happen. I don't like the worst thing for me is planning.
Yeah,
I've told you before.
Yeah.
You don't get anything done by planning, is what
I
you said.
don't like the idea of waking up going, I've got to do that today, because that's when you don't look forward to doing the thing.
Yep.
Whereas I get up, I'm washing up, I'll look at a wall and I'll go, those tiles aren't very good, I'm going to rip them off. So,
Jesus Christ. This is amazing. This is amazing. I mean, forget Idiot Abroad. Forget the Ricky Gervais show. Let's just have 24/7 Carl Cam. Just think how that would look. He gets up, Suzanne leaves, we get him to, he looks at a wall.
He starts tearing the tiles off. It looks like the behaviour of a psychopath, doesn't it?
Oh, so...
Are there handles on the inside of your house?
This is what worries me, though. The fact that you're always doing DIY suggests that you didn't do a good job in the first place.
no,
Steve, am I wrong?
I never ever do the same thing twice. Once it's done, it's done. I do it right. I take my time. I get it done right.
So this is other people's workmanship that you're undoing and doing properly. Okay, right.
Now the radio's in the bedroom, so you can't listen to the radio when you're doing your work.
I normally drag it through.
You drag it through. How big is it?
No, it's just a little clock radio thing.
So it's plugged in.
Okay. Then,
well, hang on a minute. Let's go back, because presumably you've dismantled the tiles. You've got to pop down and get all your supplies, haven't you, from B&Q or somewhere?
well, I went to home base. Might have a walk there if the weather's nice.
Yeah.
25-minute walk. That's all right.
25 minutes, a bit of a jaunt though, because you've got to carry all the stuff back, haven't you?
Depends what I'm buying. If I'm just buying a tub of adhesive,
Yep.
I can handle that. It's if you're getting heavier stuff.
What do you do in that case?
Drive.
Okay, get the motor.
Yeah. But
Now,
I don't
are you-
like shifting that, because you lose your parking
Now,
space.
do you put
Doesn't like
on...
moving the car because he loses his parking space. So don't use the car for fear of losing the parking space.
Yeah.
Not if I can help it.
Now, question. When you go to home base or B&Q or some sort of tile shop or a lumber yard, do you affect a more working class accent like I've heard Steve talking to his carpenters?
I always do that, yeah.
I don't have to talk to anyone. I know exactly what I'm getting. Straight in there. I know the layout. I've been in there plenty of times. I might have a bit of a browse whilst I'm there. I like looking at different tools.
So if it wasn't for meeting up with me and Steve and Suzanne being home between, I don't know, 6 o'clock at night and 8 the next morning, you wouldn't talk to anyone, would you?
Do you have any friends that you might talk to?
Yeah, talk to some people on the phone. But then I soon get bored with that.
Right.
About 5 minutes in, I realise I'm not listening anymore.
Aristotle once observed, law is order, and good law is good order. A seemingly simple concept, but the realities of making those good laws and enforcing them have troubled society since time immemorial. From community service to capital punishment, everyone has a view on how we protect the innocent and punish the guilty. Is one man's law another man's tyranny? Is justice available to all? Does prison work? Should we lock up lawbreakers and throw away the key, or does that fail to address the root causes of crime? To discuss these questions and more, I'm joined by Stephen Merchant, award-winning writer and graduate of the University of Warwick.
Hello.
And Karl Pilkington. Look at that fucking head.
Right.
So, Karl, law and order.
Not that interested in it, to be honest.
What do you mean?
I've got no interest in law and order whatsoever. It's not part of my life. That's the problem. You keep picking topics that don't buzz me.
Of course they do.
They don't.
Well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this.
You're a man quite obsessed with law and order.
Based on what?
Well, law and order is basically to protect the innocent, isn't it? I mean, when we think of law and order, we usually think of crime and punishment, but it's all about protect our person. We have the right to walk the streets without getting mugged. When someone wrongs us, we want justice. It's fundamental. And you do. You were sitting in your old flat in London, phoning me every day that you wanted to go downstairs and smack their heads in for being late and shouting around and being drunk, and you could hear it. You wanted some justice.
Yeah, but nothing would have happened if I'd called someone up and said there's people doing noise pollution. Even though there's a law for noise pollution now, it's not really taken seriously, is it? Well,
So you are concerned with law and order.
No, but
you
there's
wanted
no
your
point.
rights, and you
Quiet,
ended up
quiet.
moving. He's moved in now. He's moved to lovely sunny Hampstead, just down the road from us. so you're having a better life.
Yeah,
so
but I shouldn't have to move because of some noisy people.
no, you shouldn't. But I'm saying you were
No one
stressed
cares, though.
and you wanted justice, but you thought you couldn't get justice, so you moved away.
Yeah, so I dealt with it in my way.
Yeah,
I hated them.
Right.
Because they didn't care about anyone else.
Exactly.
But the police wouldn't get involved. There's other people who live round there who had to put up with it. No one cared.
So what did it feel like every night when you were trying to watch telly, and it's hot and you got the window open, or?
No, you could just hear stuff, and you know, it's that thing of you get a lot of tourists in London, so they're talking. It's not even as if you can listen in to what they're saying and have a view on their opinion because they're foreign.
Would that be entertaining for you?
Well, yeah, because if you can hear what people are saying, you go, yeah, that's a
Switch
good
the
point.
telly off.
Oh, you know, there's some
I
sort
don't
of-
want to hear anyone talking. I'll tell you what, really feel sorry for people with like neighbours from hell. Because it's, I mean, you know, I'm not saying it's justified, but I can see why people go mental with someone when they're bullied or, you know, constantly harassed and no one cares. And when you can't go to the police, you can't go to the police and go, there's a bloke next door, he's got his television loud, he's always pissed, he's shouting about, if you don't do something, I'm going to go around there and crack his head in. You're the one that...
But isn't it your own fault for living in central London?
Well, not really, because it wasn't always like that. I'd been there years, and then all of a sudden, you know, good fellas turn up. They sat down there making a racket. What can you say to them? You call down, they can't hear the phone ringing.
Could I just say that Goodfellas wasn't a pizza joint? He
No.
called the loud people that because he thought they were gangsters,
Right,
because they
sure.
did what they wanted and sat outside and...
Yeah.
So, but it's louder. I think it is louder abroad than it is here. Whenever I go away on holiday, I always notice that it's always a couple of decibels higher.
Really?
Always. Like the sound of bird noises and that are louder abroad. Because they're trying to get a nut above the noise of the noisy people.
No, that's not true.
They are. When I was in, where was I? Menorca or something. It was like lying there. If it wasn't a noisy local, it was the people in the villa next door. If it's not them, they suddenly collected the bottles from the bottle bank. That's a nice noise when you're just relaxing. The bottle bank. Pop that there where the villa is. So that was a racket. There was always there was just so much noise.
Animals, creatures,
You can't escape. It's the one thing you can't escape. Noise. Your ears never turn off.
No.
They're always there.
But I've told you before, wear earplugs if you have
I
to.
don't like
But
it.
he doesn't like... He says he can hear the sound of his own art.
Well, there's always a sound. Like your eyes, you can close them. My eyes close all the time. When if I don't like the look of something,
Yeah.
no, but
Yeah.
if I don't like the look of something, they close before even I've thought about if I want to see it or not.
What do you
They're
think?
ahead.
What do you think exactly?
I just mean if I see something on the telly or like one of those casualty programs or something,
Yeah.
it's like my eyes know that I'm not going to like the look of it.
No.
So they
you're-
close
no,
quicker.
No.
My ears, they seem to be interested in everything. Even though I'm not.
What I mean is, you can't close your ears.
Yeah,
you
that's
can't.
what I'm saying.
Exactly. Yeah. You can't. You can never.
So that's
no,
why
I like the idea that your eyes are closing when you... Oh, I was watching that.
Yeah,
what are you doing,
have your eyes? Have your
No,
eyes
they-
ever closed something that you're going? That
No,
you're going
they normally
enjoy
get it
that.
right.
Your eyes aren't
They
making
normally
any
get it right.
decisions. You're making decisions. You turn away because you don't like seeing something. You don't turn away and then you're going, what was that? And your eyes going, you don't want to know. You do not know. You don't want to know.
I'm just
Carl.
saying anyway.
Lovely pair of tits here. Oh, I can't believe it!
I just mean noise pollution. It's the one thing you can't escape.
It seems to me, from what you've said so far, is that these things happen to you and you feel wronged, but you either want to close your eyes and ears so you can't tell it's happening, but it's carrying on, or move away from it so you're not a victim anymore, but it's carrying on. But the thing about law and order is, you don't have to take it. You don't have to walk away. You can do something about it. You can combat being wronged. And I suppose we associate that with justice. It's not just punishment or retribution, it's justice. You want to know that you're valued.
You know, this is a big issue, isn't it, Rick? Is one life more important than another? If you've transgressed in a terrible way, you've murdered, raped, whatever, and I say I'm going to put you to death because you do not belong in this society. You are too transgressive. What's to stop me? Why is that wrong? Why is that a morally wrong thing to do?
Well,
Carl?
this is an interesting argument, isn't it? Whether capital punishment. Now, I don't agree with execution. State execution of someone, whatever they've done, for many reasons, but the main one is, I don't think you can have a state that shows that sort of violence against an individual, whatever they've done, and expect people to accept the very code and morality of treating people equally and not showing violence towards them.
Carl, where do you stand on the tricky issue of capital punishment? You've given it some serious thought, I imagine.
So what, you're asking me, like, should he be on death row?
Well, should someone flip the switch, send him to his death in the electric chair?
Yeah.
That was the least considered.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw a little bit of flicker behind the eyes. I don't know what. Well, just take us through the mental process that you arrived at the yes with there. So you know, I remember because there was quite a brief gap there.
I just was thinking, it's not a nice job if you work in there and you've got to flick the switch.
Right.
But I was wondering if it's possible to just do it so it's linked up to someone's switch.
What do you mean?
When they put the lights on or something. So it's like sometime tonight when the sun goes down and people start putting the lights on in their house, it could happen. But we don't know what household. They might be away on holiday, so you might get an extra 2 weeks. But at least that way, because for me,
Well,
the worst.
you should say that.
This is not the question I asked was whether we were talking about the morality of whether you put someone to death.
But he was thinking
He
about
was thinking about literally the practicality of flipping the switch.
Well, no, I think that aren't you talking about the integrity of the person who knows or knows not that they put someone to death, like a firing squad, like
Yeah.
what they used to do sometimes in the First World War when they had 6 riflemen, but
Only one
5
had a
were
bullet.
blanks and one
Right.
and no one knew.
If they were the person that killed them.
Yeah.
So, but my point is, you do agree that someone should be put to death for a terrible crime, do you?
You've got to have something there to stop them people who don't care, haven't you? Nature's done it in a way with bees. They've gone, we'll give you a weapon, but if you use it, you die. And that's like the bee.
Well,
so
yeah.
they're worried they're going to go, I'm
That's
not
what
going to do it.
we do, won't we? We have people saying, 1, you can't do that. That's step 1. Here's the law. Don't do it.
But there's a lot of people who
2,
go, I'm not bothered about the law. I'm not bothered about annoying people.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
for them, at the end of the scale, you've got the chair, and you stick the wires on their head, and we'll fry your head. And they go, oh God, I don't want that.
That doesn't always work, does it? With being put to death, because as a deterrent, most of the crimes aren't just crimes of gain. With that, some of them are crimes of passion, where a deterrent doesn't count because you see red and you go crazy and you're angry and you kill someone. I think a lot of those crimes, the deterrent isn't relevant. You know, things like armed robbery, maybe, where it's a risk. What can I get versus what my crime? Maybe then it might be a deterrent. But then, of course, if you start to get a capital punishment for crimes that aren't murdering someone, then that thing brings in you might as well murder them, because then you've got more chance of getting away with it. So it's very delicate what you make people be killed for.
You've made an interesting and reasoned argument there, Rick. I'm looking forward to hearing the riposte.
Right. When I was younger, I used to nick Mars bars.
Okay.
Right. Now, I did that then, and I knew that even if I get caught, what's the worst that's going to happen?
Yeah.
I'm not going to go to prison over that. But it was worth nicking because the Mars bar, they were like 45 pence.
Sure.
When you're a kid, you can get a lot of chewing nuts for that.
Chewing
I
nuts.
don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they like caramel covered in chocolate. Last ages. Quite hard.
Oh, I know. Yeah, you suck the chocolate off and then you got to chew them
Caramel.
until they're. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Now, I could afford them at 10 pence a bag. They'd last me sort of a morning. A Mars bar was a proper treat. There's a lot going on in there. A lot of
Yeah.
chocolate, a lot of caramel.
Yeah.
Like I say, 45 pence.
Yeah.
So, to
So
me...
that was like an advert that went wrong just at the end. They started off good. They go, this fly's good. He's you go there. Mars bar, there's a lot in it. It's like, oh, good, keep going. Yeah, it's got caramel. It's got yeah. But it's 45 pence, which is too fucking much. So fucking nick it, you cunt.
But when I was younger, that was worth a risk because I knew that I'd be getting something worth 45 pence
Yeah.
for free,
You weren't going to get the electric
and I
chair.
wasn't going to get done. So the stakes were high, the risk were low.
No, wait. You mean the stakes were high, the risks were
I
low?
think he's just trying to sound cool.
The stakes weren't high. The stakes are what can happen to you, and the risk. The stakes and the risk are the same. The risk is the stake, okay? Yeah, unless you're nicking meat from a butcher's, then the stakes are high and the risk is low. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but what you meant was
It was
the
worth
game
a
was
risk.
high.
The game was high.
Yeah,
The game was high.
yeah, the risk was low.
Yeah.
But no, it wasn't, was it? Because 45p isn't a lot unless you're a
It is
kid.
when you're a kid.
It is when you're a kid.
Because I was getting
but then
50
surely
pence.
getting caught for nicking a Mars bar is higher when you're a kid.
No, it's not. Look, you see, most of the time, I didn't want to say which shop it was that I nicked it from, but it's where I did my paper round. Now the thing is,
So you're nicking from your own boss.
but listen, I used to wake him up.
that
I helped
is
him
terrible.
run that. No, because
That is terrible.
This is awful.
That
Go
is-
on, hang on. I
that
want to
is
hear.
really
no, I want to hear him
bad.
rationalise his
Because that
terrible
sweet
crime.
old man who used to give...
He's not an old man. I used to go round and
Sweet
wake
little
him up.
old man.
Right, he hated running that place.
Right.
If anything, I'd say I was his best asset.
Well, not really.
Yeah,
Because I don't
You
know
were
what...
nicking from him. You were thieving from him.
I don't know how much he
Business.
made on papers, but he'd probably go 45p profit. Hold on.
They got their papers really early because I got up early.
Yeah.
I used to go round to the
Well, you know,
shop
a
at
Mars a
4:30.
day helps you work, rest, and steal.
So I used to go round there, wake him up. He'd be like, "What are you doing round here so early?"
Don't know, I'm just hungry. What? I'm just hungry for work.
No.
Oh, well, good boy, Pip. I'm just going to turn away a minute,
Yeah.
while you stand there in front of the confectionery. I'll turn away now, and I've looked back now, and here's the papers. And thanks so much, Carl, because you're a lovely
He's like
kid.
an honourable and trustworthy
Yeah, I
guy.
can't really afford to...
I've been betrayed so many times. That's why
Yeah.
my lovely wife's no longer with me. You know, she ran off with Ken.
Yeah, but I mean, at least I've got a friend.
At least you've got one young
You turn
friend.
up early, oh, God, it's brilliant. Oh, and Carl, keep a lookout, because...
Someone's been nicking Mars bars.
Yeah, I know it's not you because I trust you implicitly. And by the way, Carl, why don't you take a Mars bar for free? Oh, thanks.
Well, that never happened.
I remember when I went off to university. My brother-in-law dropped me off. My mum came up with me, and she was leaving, and she was sort of crying, and I was making up. I was pretending to be really sort of sad and winding up, right? And then I thought, oh, I better call her up. She said, call me. Right, so I think I waited till the following Sunday. It'd been about a week, right? And I called her up, and I couldn't just call her up. I suppose I had to be ironic because I was probably embarrassed about calling my mum. Like I wanted to speak to her too. So I just called her up, and she went, "Hello." I went, "Mum." She went, "Yeah." I went, "It's Ricky." She went, "What's the matter?" I said, "I think I'm blind." She went, "What?" I went, "No, how's it going?" She went, "You silly bleeder, I nearly had a heart attack."
That's great.
So if you want to spice up calls to your mum, pretend you've had a terrible accident and that you're blind.
I like it when I phone my gran, and the only other people that ever phone my gran is me, my sister, or my parents. No one else ever calls. And every time she picks up, she goes, "Hello?" Like, it could be a monster that's going to come through the phone line. But also, it's like she's never... Like, each time she hears it ring, it surprises her. Like, there's a noise in the house, and she wanders around, she finds an object that's ringing. And she doesn't know what it is, and she sort of hits buttons until...
Yeah.
Hello?
Well, she's tried 3 already.
But what annoys me is I'll say, "Hello, Gran," and she'll go, "Who's that?" Oh, come on. You must recognise me by now. I'm the only person who calls except about 3 other people.
I'm not the girl.
Yeah, exactly. And my gran, she's had this for years. It's not just as she gets up. She'll she'll go through all of the family's name until she gets to
my
me.
lot used to do that. My lot used to do
So
that.
she knows
yeah.
it's me, but she'll go, "Hello, Ron, Elaine, Alex, Steve."
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Oh.
But it's the same with each member of whichever one of us she's talking to.
Always last.
It's the always last.
Yeah. Oh dear. So you've spoken to your mum and dad. You've changed the tiles. You've had lunch. The telly's not on.
Suzanne comes in. You've made her dinner.
No.
Right.
What happens there? Now, what happens there?
What time does she get in?
You've done all this by about 4 or 5, have you?
Well, I'm tidying up. I normally keep my eye on the clock. Like
the
to give
road.
myself like 40 odd minutes to clean up.
Right.
Kitchen's all clean, ready for us to make the tea.
Ready for her to make the tea, even though I know you've been tiling, but that was a job you gave yourself. You didn't have to do it.
No, but I don't do cooking. She knows that. This isn't even a discussion.
Right.
She knows. Like today, I've got to get some thin chips, so I'll do that.
You mean fries?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's frozen in the bag or whatever.
Yeah. I've got to get some of them.
And what are you having? What are you having tonight?
Scampi.
So as that shop bought scampi, just what do you do? Just
I don't know. She
deep
just
fry
brings it. I don't know. I think it's just chuck it in the oven.
yeah.
So she'll do all that. I'll eat it.
And sorry, let me just rewind for a second.
I'll eat it. He's listing it in his day's work. I'll eat it. I say, I've eaten that. She goes, thank you. I go, oven.
Do you ask how her day's been? I'm just interested when she comes in. You
Definitely
know,
not.
she's had a busy
Definitely
day.
not.
She's listen. Don't jump to conclusions, Rick. All right. Okay, so she comes in.
Okay, let's act it out.
Yeah.
Okay, you've just cleaned up, right? The last bit there. You look back. Them tiles look good. You look at the clock. Oh, what time is it? She usually comes through the door.
Don't know. It can change. She calls and warns me.
Right. Let's
So-
go through. Take me through, okay? The end of the day.
Right. Vacuuming up, cleaning up all the mess. Phone's going. Who's that? Suzanne. All right. Yeah. Coming home. All right then. See you in a bit. She'll go. I'll put the kettle on, or at least fill it ready, because she normally calls again.
What do you mean? She calls again? What?
She calls again when she's out the tube.
Let's do it. Let's hear it. What's going on?
All right. You out the tube? Yeah. Do you want a cup of tea? Yeah. All right. See you in a minute. Flick the kettle on. Get the tea bags out. Make a cup of tea.
Milk?
Bit of milk.
Literally.
Sometimes I'll say, "Oh, get us a little treat when you come out the tube."
Yeah.
So she'll get me, a bounty or something to go with a cup of tea.
Right.
She'll
It's
come
before
in.
your tea, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's going to be another 40 odd minutes.
So you have a bounty before you have a meal?
Not every day, just sometimes. If I've got a sugar low, I've got a touch of diabetes.
No, you haven't.
I have. I feel like a bit shaky.
Oh, so
sometimes.
you just made that up. So
Yeah.
you have got no evidence whether you got
Well, I haven't
diabetes
got
or not.
evidence of it, but I think I
No,
have.
so there's no evidence, but let's believe in it anyway.
Right, well, I have a bounty that normally sorts it out. To me, that's a sign of diabetes. Otherwise, what's wrong with me? So,
You're just a greedy fucker.
no, I'm telling you, I sometimes need it. I get a proper urge for a Mars bar. I go, I've got to have
What
one
do you have a
now.
bounty for then?
No, just to mix it up because I get sick of Mars bars.
Do you? Well, when you say get me a bounty, have you got an urge for a bounty then or a Mars bar?
Well, it's just that they're both quite equal in sugar content.
Yeah, but just,
Bounties, there's a lot of that.
do you
coconut.
specify then when you say get me a treat? She says, well, what?
I
Sometimes you have a Mars bar, sometimes you have a
No,
bounty.
that's enough for me. I'll go when she comes in. It's a talking topic, isn't it? What have you got me?
Topic. She sometimes gets you a topic.
It's something to chat about, isn't it?
Right.
Got
Okay.
your bounty.
Something to chat about.
So, has there ever been a time? Sorry, I just got to get this straight, Steve.
Sorry, Rick, I just wanted to say, could you imagine you and I having a conversation about what chocolate bar you have brought me? What'd you get me, Rick?
Got your bounty. Is that all
Thanks,
right?
mate. That's as long as that conversation can possibly
Yeah,
go.
that
You're
is
talking
it.
about it as a talking point.
Yeah, so what happens? So what's the last time there was a discussion about what she bought you? Did she ever bring you a bounty and you go, oh, I was really hoping for a Mars bar?
I think the last time she got a bounty, I sort of said, "Oh, they do a 3-pack now." Do you know how they just have 2 bars? They do a 3 one.
Right, what did she say?
She said, "Did they?" Did
She
they?
said, I want out of this relationship.
No, but that's how a chat starts, and they'll go, "Yeah, that's why there's fatter people now. Everything's in bigger amounts, innit? It used to just be 1, like a Milky Way. Now you can get a 3-pack, and then they're saying, "Oh, there's fat people," because that's the thing. She's sort of been talking to people all day. I've been tiling, listening to the radio, hearing reports of obesity. So this is a chance for me to tell her what I've learned in a way.
Right.
So I'll empty what
I bet
I've
she
learned.
loves coming through that door.
When she comes through, take her coat off, I'll go, "Oh," she'll go, "What, are we having scampi still, or have you gone off the idea?" And then I'll go, "Oh, we should get them tablets my mum's been talking about." She goes, "What tablets?" I go, "The food." So see how it's all coming together.
Yeah.
So it's like that, and that's
What does
we
she
do.
say to the idea of now living on tablets instead of having some scampi and chips when she comes home after a hard day's work? What does
She
she,
just
say
sort
to
of
that?
goes, "Oh, right."
She says, oh, right.
Yeah.
So, this important information which you're imparting that you've garnered during the day, her response to that is, oh, right.
Yeah.
So-
and then I'll get her attention at some point. I'll say there's worms with teeth.
I'll get her attention at some point. I'll say, I'm going to bring out the good big guns now.
Imagine-
Right, she's ignoring me. Okay, wait for this.
Wait.
Suzanne, I see you're ignoring me. Yeah. Worms with teeth. Oh, God. Amazing. So what does she say to worms have teeth?
I can't remember. She just sort of said, "Oh, have you got the facts right?" I said, "Yeah." That's kind of it. And she'll either go, "All right," or she'll I mean, it's pretty rare that it's anything more than that.
So it's not a conversation, really. It's,
No.
Because the response twice now has been, oh, right.
Right. So she's looking forward to some scampi and chips. She hands over your bounty. You go, oh, they do 3. Yeah, whatever. Right. What happens next? Take us through.
I'll sort of say, "You got anything to report? Anything gone on today?" Mm-hmm. And she knows it's. I sort of phase off again. It's like a phone call. She'll go, "Oh, so and so's leaving or whatever," and I don't know these people, and I'm not that interested.
And she senses that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So she'll go, "Oh, have you paid the insurance?" I go, "No, I forgot." She'll go, "I told you to do that." I said, "Yeah, but I've been doing the tiling." She's going, "Yeah, but weren't meant to do the tiling. I asked you to sort the insurance out on the washer because the washer keeps breaking." And she won't let me fix it, even though I know what it was. It was a heating element. I said, I know how to fix that. But she was going, "No, I don't want you messing with it because if you flood the kitchen out, it's makes a mess." So anyway, so I've got to sort that out. I still haven't done it. I should have done that today. Then have a game of crib.
Oh God! Oh
It's
God!
like being in an old people's home.
I know, but I'll tell you what. Put the telly on because there's some flump on there that might give you an insight.
No,
No?
not until like I've said to you before. Unless she knows what she's putting it on for, it doesn't go on.
Right.
None of this flicker
So
it
when
on.
she says, "Let's put the telly on," you go, "Okay, Suzanne, what are we going to watch?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
And
what
she goes, "Well, I don't know. Should we have a look what's on?"
I say, look what's on first.
But have you got a Radio Times or a TV?
Yeah, I've got a magazine that comes with a paper at the weekend.
Okay.
Look through that. If there's anything on you fancy, we'll look at it. If not, we don't need it on. Put the radio on.
Right.
And then she has a look and she'll go, "The Apprentice is on." I'll go, "Okay, you can have it on."
Right.
If she goes, "Oh, I can't remember a time when I've said no, you're not having that on."
You're quite patriarchal, aren't you, wouldn't you say?
What do you mean?
Was that the man of the house rules the roost?
Yeah, you pretty
Not
much lay the
really.
rules down, don't you?
No, because she still does what she wants. Even though I'm saying you're clumping about again, making a racket, she does it more. But it works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sounds like it. And so you've had a lovely game of crib with Suzanne, because, the magic's still there. And what time do you hit the sack?
Don't know, about 11.
Do you go to bed at the same time?
Yeah. So that's it, yeah, that's
So,
the day, really.
well, hang on, we haven't finished yet. So, any conversation before bed?
Depends if the radio's on. I might say, "Look, here's that story about the worm."
Yeah.
And then she'll go, "Yeah, but look, it hasn't got teeth. It said this, that and the other." And I'll go, "Oh, yeah, forgot."
Good night.
That's the end of that, really.
Another day closer to death.
Well, that was a free podcast. I suppose we'd call that a day in the life of Karl Pilkington. That's a little thank you to all the fans who bought the audiobooks.
It's not much of a gift, is it?
Wow, it's something, isn't it? I mean, I know Karl did it begrudgingly, but thank you for downloading the audiobooks all these years. Karl's very grateful, really. It means he can go and buy as much grouting as he'll ever need. And thank you to people who've bought the book, An Idiot Abroad, and watched the programme. If you still can't get enough Karl, the DVD An Idiot Abroad is out. That's a lovely Christmas gift for all the family. Order that now at amazon.co.uk or Com or HMV
or your retailer
or Play.
of choice. Your retailer,
Retailer of choice. Or go out and buy it.
Get off your arse and buy it.
Go out for a walk and buy An Idiot Abroad on DVD and the book. And what a lovely Christmas gift the Ricky Gervais Show would make as well on DVD.
Animated ramblings from the round-headed moron.
Some people don't even realise that The Idiot Abroad is Karl Pilkington from the Ricky Gervais Show. If you're on Twitter and Facebook and MySpace, or if you've got just friends you actually talk to via the mouth, then tell them if they enjoyed An Idiot Abroad to get the Ricky Gervais Show on audiobook or DVD. And while you're at it, buy my new stand-up on DVD, Science.
I don't know, Rick. That seems a shameless plug.
Yeah. Well, what was all the other shit then?
Yeah, that was just talking to the fans.
That's because you get a third of all the other stuff.
All right, let's not reduce it to money.
Karl's on it.
On what?
On the Science DVD. I've done a special programme where I interview him for Science, which is amazing. But my favourite bit is probably when he meets Warwick Davis. I stitched him right up. He thought he was going to have a talk about science. We hid Warwick, right?
Well, that's not hard, is it?
We had to keep it in a different room, and then Carl sat down, thought he was talking about science, and I went, got a little fella, and Warwick walks out, and your little face, and Warwick confronted him over some of the words he's used. Midget.
Yes, I remember the famous midget hippopotamus story.
Yeah.
I'm sure you used the word midget there far too many times.
Yeah. So there's a few things to buy at Christmas. Go out and buy one of our DVDs or books. This was free. Now pay for something. David Bowie, Sorrow, on XFM 104.9. Nearly there, but, you know, we're working our way up to the grand finale. The bit where Carl spouts absolute nonsense from a dodgy source on the internet about a monkey who did something impossible.
Let's cue up the jingle.
Hang on. Alright.
Perfect.
Oh, chimpanzee, that monkey news!
Right. Let's have a look. This one's from some woman, right?
Yeah.
And she was taking part in the London to Brighton bike ride, right? Lovely day, weather's good and everything.
What year?
She's just a couple of months ago. She's done all the training, right? Done all the training and stuff. Got a brand new bike for it. Got a little puncher outfit and stuff, all set for the day, right? It's a nice day. She sets off. They all start pedalling and that on the way to Brighton, right? So she knows the route and that. Got her little headphones on, cycling along. Suddenly...
Right, okay, I'm going to stop you now. If a cyclist overtakes her, and it's going really fast and it's sort of hunched over, but it's got, like, lots of cycling gear on and a helmet and goggles, and they can't tell what it is, but they just know it's a little hairy fella who hasn't bothered shaving his legs, which is weird, isn't it? Because cyclists usually shave their legs, and this bloke had really hairy legs. But and it won. They gave it the medal. It won 3 years running. They gave it the key to the city. It had its own game show, and then someone said, "Hold on, though, this fella's sort of hunched over, and he's only 3'5", and his arms are longer than his body. It's a chimp. If it goes anywhere near that, we're never doing it again."
More monkey news next week.
She's cycling
So
along.
anyway, she's cycling along, right? And this tricycle...
I couldn't predict that.
There's always one element you can never anticipate.
Yeah. Got a kiddie's tricycle with a little kid on it, little hairy kid with a helmet. Okay, just go on then.
The tricycle comes...
Whizzing past, yeah.
him.
Strong legs, don't they, chimps?
So she's thinking that's... But didn't get a chance to see the thing.
Oh, yeah, couldn't quite see the cyclist. Oh, God! You bald mank git. Go on. Yeah, research scientist Karl Pilkington.
So anyway, she gets to the end line, right? And they got talking. It was a nice day, nice race and all that. So did you see a little thing on a tricycle?
Thing? Well, a person, surely, just a human. Did you see that? No. Did you see that bloke on the tricycle?
So anyway, turns out...
Tricycle.
Yeah! Well, what did you say thing? Well, no, that's suspicious. I mean, what did you say? Did you see that fellow on a tricycle?
Anyway, so it turns out...
Go on.
It was a chimp.
You're joking!
Right.
Well, Christ almighty, there you go. Unbelievable, and it was a chimp all along.
So anyway, right, so the woman's like...
We're never doing this again.
checking out the news, right? There's nothing on it. She checks out XFM Monkey News.
Right, okay, I'll stop you there again. Right, if it turns out she does on the news, right, and the circus goes, we're looking for our chimp, it used to ride this tricycle, and it escaped with police chasing it.
No. So she listened to XFM, see if I picked up on the story.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't have it and stuff. So she got in touch with the organisers of the London to Brighton bike ride, said, look, saw a little hairy fella.
Why did she care?
Because she wanted to know, she thought it was a bit odd. Turns out it was a chimp. They weren't happy about it.
Of course not.
Because now the owner of the chimp wants to enter it into the Tour de France.
No! Oh, God! I'm gonna die! Oh, God!
In 2005.
Now, a couple of questions. I trust you'll be able to answer these.
Oh, God! Steve, help me out.
How did it get hold of the tricycle?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay, no, that's fine. That's not an important point.
Like, that's important. What's the matter with you, Steve? He doesn't know that.
How did it know to... well, firstly, how did it know which way to cycle, but more importantly, how did it know there was a major bike ride on that day?
Just following the crowd,
No,
Steve.
no.
What's the matter with you?
The owner of it had trained it and stuff.
No, he hadn't!
It had already done the run beforehand, before the big day.
No, it hadn't.
like I say, it wants to do the Tour de France in 2005.
No, it doesn't.
But there's something about animal rights. If they don't let it enter, they can kick up a bit of a fuss.
The animal rights is that it's cruel to make a tune ride a bicycle.
Not if it
that
wants
it's
to.
prejudice that it'll go, is it because I is hairy? You idiot!
Right? So...
Wow, that is the worst. That is the worst one yet. Absolute twaddle. Absolute rubbish, Carl.
Have you got a tricycle?
Unbelievable.
One of the prizes on Carl's competition this week is the very best Led Zeppelin, that's obviously rock and roll. We've also got Live Forever, Britpop CD, Marion and Jeff, and Red Dwarf. And should we play it again? So people
There's
have got
this
another
hairy
chance?
Chinese kid.
Who are the artists?
Here we go.
It's tricky, it's not very easy. Once more.
One more.
Well, there you go.
Ricky.Gervais at xfm.co.uk. Those prizes can be yours. I, at the quiz, also discovered, of course, and I don't know, I'm just intrigued to know, Carl, I'm just intrigued to know. It was your girlfriend's birthday, wasn't it? Earlier in the week? Or last week?
On Monday, yeah.
And, I mean, obviously it was a triumph with the stuff you got her for Christmas.
The condoms.
The box of condoms.
Box set of condoms.
Oh, yeah.
not just the singles, the whole set.
Yeah, a complete collection.
Brilliant.
So what did you get for this
What did you
time?
get her?
Yeah, but...
No, yeah, but it's her birthday. How long have you been together?
About 9 years.
Okay, so, ooh, God, it must cost you so much. every
No, but it
birthday.
starts getting tricky, doesn't it? Because I spoiled her a lot in the first few years.
Yeah.
So then you
Here's
start-
a packet of rubber bands, enjoy them.
Oh.
Well, it's what she wanted.
Okay.
I mean, you're making out as if...
No, everyone wants paper clips. Come on, what did you get her?
Got her a new pair of gloves.
Right.
Alright, well.
And?
What, nice leather ones from Selfridges or Harrods or something?
They were good ones, they're the sort she likes, so... They weren't...
Well, they weren't the little woolen ones that she had.
Yeah.
I thought that was a joke when she said he got me these, because I laughed.
No, but I know that's... The one she did have, the...
When they said it was his birthday, it was her birthday Monday, and me and Steve wanted to get her, and she went, he got me these, because she had those little woolen gloves on. I laughed, because I thought she was joking, Carl.
That's what she wanted. I've told you before about buying presents.
Does those gloves have your name sewn in them? And a piece of string that ran over the back of your duffel coat?
You know, I've never been into getting presents and that. I had the problem at that Christmas one, that time with the Victoria Plum.
Yeah, we'd hate that. We'd hate to bring that back.
We've done that.
Because you talked about the book, because it's kind of to do with your dad, isn't it? He's a very bad gift buyer, was that the problem?
Well, yeah, my dad just wouldn't bother. It was my mum who sort of made an effort, and she sort of worked out half of what I wanted, then she left it to my dad to get it off someone, see if he could get one cheap or whatever.
I love the fact that usually people talk about, like, drinking heavily or violent abuse, right?
Yeah.
But here's what he's been left with and scarred with from parents is bad gift buying.
Yeah, and
That's
the
not so
Victoria
bad, is
Plum
it?
incident.
In the greater scheme of things in the world,
Yeah, but-
that's not a bad thing to have, is it?
What? Say it again?
If an idea isn't daft, it isn't worth thinking about.
I can't imagine him saying
No, I
daft.
can't.
No, well, it was something like that, though, meaning that every new idea seems a bit mental,
Yeah,
right?
it's a good
But
point.
then it leads to something.
well,
I'm not sure that I
no.
think if we were sat with Einstein now and you'd brought up the machine that allows doctors to feel, I don't think he'd be saying we should pursue that idea.
There's some ideas that go, I think the Earth might be round. People go, oh, it is flat. And then there's people who stand in doorways covered in crucifixes with tinfoil on their head saying, Jesus is in my cock.
Yeah. But
Now, he's a mentalist.
yes, but what I'm saying is, wouldn't you have said it was mental years ago when someone said, I'm going to make a machine so I can look inside your head? Years on, hello, get in the machine, we've got an MRI scanner. It's the next one along.
You'd go, they'd go, well, why are you looking in their head? It's where the brain is.
I'll tell you what, we've got similar to it anyway, because I've read about this machine where, right, say if, put it on Steve, right?
Go on.
I wear a camera on my head,
Right. If this is going to be, I can see Steve's thoughts.
No, but it's similar to that, and it works as well. So I put a camera on Steve's head.
Okay, it's changed already. Whose head's the camera on?
I don't think it matters.
Okay,
Okay,
fine.
okay, well, okay,
Let's
okay.
put
Just
the camera
explain
on
it to
Steve's
me.
head.
Okay,
Right,
okay,
put
the
a
camera's-
camera on Steve's head.
Right,
What I've got on my head are some goggles.
right,
Over your eyes?
Yeah.
Okay.
okay.
You've got the camera. Through my goggles, I'm seeing what your camera's seeing.
And where's the camera? Is it looking out from my eyes?
Yeah. Right?
So basically you can see what I can
So
see.
I'm seeing what you see.
But couldn't you
just
just
a mo-
stand where I'm standing?
Well, that's just a monitor. Well, that happens now. Yeah, you can
listen,
all have
I
the same
haven't
monitor.
Hang on.
finished.
So
Okay.
wait.
So, how does it work now? Hang on a
Well,
minute.
wait.
Hang on a minute.
This is you're at the Royal College of Surgeons. You're presenting this idea now. Everyone in the world is sat down here. The eminent scientists are going, "Can't believe He's a genius. He's got an idea for cameras and goggles."
No, you're saying it already exists.
This has just come out the other week.
Oh, okay.
Put a camera on Steve's eyes. He sees through the camera.
What
I've
do you
got
mean?
the goggles
Why
on.
is he seeing through a camera? I don't know what you mean. He's just got is it
Wherever he
filming
wherever he looks, the camera's looking.
Okay, so it's a camera, right? Okay,
It's a camera on his head.
He's not seeing through it. It's just seeing what he sees because it's pointing in exactly the same direction as his
Yeah,
eyes.
if he turns his head to the right,
Yeah,
I will
exactly.
see it.
So it's monitored to tell you. So you're looking at a monitor, really.
Right. So one of the simplest ideas, but it's taken us 10 minutes to explain it.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Right.
So it's the same as a cameraman pointing the camera anywhere. We're watching the telly. We're seeing what the cameraman sees, basically. Go on then.
but it's not like
you
that.
just invented television. Well done.
Okay, right. So I've got the camera on my head. It's seeing what I'm seeing. Go.
Right.
You've got goggles on your eyes.
I've got goggles on. If you turn right, I feel like I'm turning right.
Okay.
Now my
Yeah.
brain gets
Yeah.
to a point that if you wear it for long enough, that brain thinks it's you. Because what happens
What?
is, because the brain's being kidded. At the end of the day, my brain thinks it's seen everything because my eyes are looking at stuff.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. But it doesn't think I'm Steve Merchant. It experienced what Steve's seen this like a virtual reality.
No, but that's the weird thing. If you wear it for long enough, the brain's sort of seeing it like Steve's arm go up to his head and scratch it, and it gets to a point where the brain feels a scratch, even though it's not scratching my head. So they're saying this is like you're kidding your brain, basically.
I can see
kick
how
your
that would
brain.
work. I
But
see
you're
how
not.
that would work.
You're not going to believe that you're me.
No, you're not
not
believing
going to
you're Steve
start
Merchant.
experiencing life as I experience it.
My brain would.
What do you mean your brain would, but you wouldn't?
Because
We've
I'm
done this,
kidding.
Steve.
I'm kidding the
We've
brain.
done this.
Yes, but you couldn't kid it into thinking you're me. You wouldn't forget that you're Carl wearing a contraption.
But what it was saying is, if someone went up to your stomach and started tickling you, my brain would look down and see that someone is tickling me,
Yes.
Yeah.
and I'd start laughing.
I can understand you
No,
might.
you wouldn't. No, you would. Well, yeah, you might do because it might be a confusing
But
stimulus.
yes, but the point is, there may be certain physical things which you experience through it, but you're not going to stop thinking, "Hang on, I'm Carl wearing the mask." Are
No.
you?
But you can do that.
You're
can
thinking
kid-
you're thinking you're Carl, seeing all the things that
Yeah,
actually.
you're going to
Steve's do,
start
yeah.
having memories that you think are your. What? Your memories are going to change. You're not going to remember your name. You're not going to remember Suzanne's name. What are you talking about?
No, but say if we did that at that event with a load of students in front of us, I'd remember that day through your eyes.
Right.
So I'd
yeah,
be living your day.
But you'd also
That's
remember that you
your
were wearing
life.
a contraption. You
Yeah.
wouldn't remember it as being, "Oh, I was Steve Merchant for a day."
But I
Yeah,
kind
we'd
of
have different
was.
thoughts because you'd access. But look, Carl, listen. I sat down and we watched the same thing. We watched a bit of Brokeback Mountain, and we
Yeah.
all had different thoughts.
Yeah, because we're all sat in different places.
No, roughly speaking, we had the same experience when we're looking at the same thing. But it doesn't mean you assess it the same way, it doesn't mean you understand it the same way, and it doesn't mean you apply the knowledge in the same way.
No, I understand that, but
It's an interesting experiment. It is interesting. It'd be interesting to see it live. You're actually living. It's a different window to the world.
well, yeah. Say if like I was a fellow with no arms and legs, but these goggles had a really long lead, and you went about living your day, and I was looking through your eyes, I could have quite an interesting life.
Yes, you could.
Without
but you
the
wouldn't
hassle.
stop remembering that you're the person wearing the contraption.
And also,
But what is life?
Yeah,
Life
but
is what you experience.
Yeah, but
and-
if Steve went off, but you'd know this, wouldn't you? I mean,
well, would you? If you stuck one on a baby,
Well, yeah, that's different. Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
there you go.
if a baby knew no different, and those were his experience, then he would be feeling what he thought he was. Then there'd be nothing. But then, you know, let's face it, tickling someone is the sensation. It's not the thought. It's not the concept of being
no, it's
tickled
not
is
though,
funny.
because if someone goes to tickle you, but they don't tickle you, you can actually laugh, can't you? Because you go, oh god, I know what the feeling's going to be like.
Yes, because you've already experienced the real thing.
Yeah. I still think.
Well,
something in
stop
it.
with that. Stop that sentence there, and you're lying.
Let's go back, if we may, shall we, to just some of the extraordinary early developments in medicine. Do you mind if we
Yes.
go back, just get back on message? There are, of course, a number of extraordinary developments. You may obviously be aware, Carl, that the first contraceptive diaphragms centuries ago were citrus rinds. Half an orange rind, for instance, would be used.
I mean, more selfish men turned them inside out.
I believe that's also still being used in parts of Manchester.
For what?
An orange. Just think of your head.
And it worked.
Well, we don't know at this juncture.
I mean, maybe. I don't
It
know.
worked as a contraception because women went, "Fuck off! What are you going to me with a fucking orange on your cock for, you dirty cunt?"
But it could. I mean, again, it's that thing in it of we look at it now and we laugh. But look at what's happening. People now are always trying to get us to eat more fruit.
I don't.
Amazing.
That's a way of getting.
I thought for a minute he was going to say,
I
okay,
know.
so they start with, then they went from the orange rind to say a coconut shell.
Yeah.
That was too big. That didn't work.
Run! Here
Yeah.
comes Coconut John.
No, don't put half a pineapple on your cock. That's insane.
Yeah, that's mental.
And then somewhere down the line, they finally got to contraception as we understand it. Is that? I thought that's where you're going, but no. Something about eating oranges is healthy
No,
for you.
what I'm saying is, if you go into any well-known supermarket and you look at, say, some young kid who's had a kid, and you look at stuff in their shopping basket, they're not buying fruit. They're buying, burgers and chips.
Turkey Twizzlers.
Yeah,
Crisps
and all that. No, but they love having it away. Get some fruit in. So they definitely have fruit in the house, which at the moment, a lot of kids don't have fruit in their house. That's why they're eating Turkey Twizzlers. But the mum loves having it away. So she would have loads of fruit in. So
if she
everyone's
was,
happy.
If
the
she
kids
was
are
using
eating
an
fruit.
orange for contraception, she would also be giving the kids.
Well, you wouldn't waste
so half
it.
the orange she'd give to the kids, and half the orange she'd stick up her penny.
Yeah, a treat for everyone. Have a bit of fruit, and she's got what she wants. Whereas at the moment, what happens? A burger's not coming in helpful for anyone.